What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here. I'd like to say thanks for the comments. I will start putting a gold count on the episode cover on YouTube. And I, too, enjoy having humans and dwarfs mixed in here. I think it adds some flavor. So thanks for the comments, fellas, and keep those coming. Along with the likes, people, if you're enjoying this and you're out there. Today, we're going to see whether we can actually improve our gold count any. It's looking a little tough at this point. I'm not sure how we're going to get to 1,000,000, but we're going to keep trying until we get wiped out. Ethan is still on the verge of recruiting here. Things are pretty chill at the moment. You can see people are going about their duties. We have a caravan about to meet up with the Empire, and the other guys are returning home with a bunch of gold. So we have two caravans out packing a fair amount of gold. The brewing and fermenting areas are doing just fantastic. Lots of beer coming in. Looks like we're full in terms of how much we can ferment of dwarven ale at the moment. And the hold itself is continuing to expand. 0.1 days until Kaza's caravan returns. And they do meet up with a trader. For some reason, that Mornfang's not worth very much. Some of them are worth like $1,000. So, I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. I'll probably have to sell those guys, but they are getting attached to some of our people are attached to them. So, it's a little difficult. So, also the Minotaur is beloved by one of the colonists. So, we're going to buy some magical stuff and sell some beer and get rid of a bunch of crap we don't need. The transport scroll is going to be awesome. It's going to give us more capacity to complete quests. So when we get home, we'll have Gotrik learn the transport spell, which he can't cast too often. But he always has magic points available, so he can insta-renew it if we should desire. I'm growing way too much hay. Our caravan gets ambushed. These guys have had the worst luck in terms of actually getting anywhere. I don't know what's going on, but it hasn't been a major threat, despite the fact that they're carrying a decent amount of wealth. But we do have the magic, so we should be able to make something happen. This is actually Hayes' caravan, which is the one coming back from the Jebuslav situation. These three squirrels are going to have to get thumped, and it doesn't take long, as you could imagine, before they're dealt with. There was actually 4 squirrels there charging in. Blaststone's got a pretty serious amount of skills. We're still working on a little safe area. We'll put a war machine in there as well. When we get it done, we can make goblin hewers, which are mighty dwarven axe throwers. And we don't really have anything else we can do in terms of trading. We're out of cash, and we're just going to send them home. There's an outpost nearby with 12 enemies. It's a bandit camp, and it's a decent reward, but it's not really something we super need. Plants, learner, and some silver. We do have another caravan battle with Cuthram's caravan here. These people were demanding we give somebody up, and we simply do not do that. So we will fight them, and we will hope that we can win. We do need to set up some areas. I want the Minotaur out in front of us, so I'm going to try and restrict him to an area to see if he can intercept our foes. Most likely he's going to run away, because that's what they do if they're not trained to fight, and if they're not with the person that trained them to fight, apparently. But anyways, we give Jagged Rock his shield spell so he can stand up to some arrows, and we're going to have him charge in. He doesn't get blasted to bits. We're still rocking some pretty crappy Skaven weapons too, so we desperately need to get on top of making proper weapons. One of those dudes just starts shooting at our Minotaur, which is just fine. He does have some kind of special ability. I'm not sure what it does, so that'll be interesting to play with. Since I can't really control the dude, it doesn't much matter what the special ability does. But the melee people bring down the foes, and the other dudes take off running. So I'm going to try and take everybody out here. I don't think Cuthram's going to catch that other person, though. Without the help of Kaza, he wouldn't anyways. Kaza can slow her down with a couple fucking well-placed bolts from a crossbow. And off we go. Another caravan battle. 1. We're almost home, too. They were lurking right outside of our area here, which is not a cool thing to be doing. Regardless, back home, we have all manner of industry going on, as you would expect from the dwarfs. Ethan finally recruits, so he goes in there to get himself suited up. He does have some Beastman armor on already, which is just fine. We do need a bunch of blocks. We're running short on granite. We're going to give this Beastman fella Ethan a nice hammer and a nice shield, so he should be a pretty good fighter. We're going to set him to clean because the place is a bloody mess. And again, constantly growing crops to make beer. The caravan does eventually make it home. The next couple episodes here, we're going to get this whole front area of the base reworked. We need some proper security. So we got our scroll, we got some boots that allow us to jump, all kinds of stuff. The transport scroll is going to be awesome. I did pick up a scroll to cure poison, so that'll instantly end food poisoning. We're going to have Hayes learn that one. I don't want Gotrik. He's already got too many, but the plague strikes. Once again, this biome is non-ideal. We do have a Jabba's tongue from that quest. Sadly, Ethan does not get any benefit from it. I was hoping. I'm going to keep doing that. Eventually, we will get another magic user with some chaos magic. There's 4 or 5 different lores of chaos magic that that thing can grant, and that'd be pretty awesome to get a hold of that. Just to try something a little different here. We have a trader show up from an Empire recruit caravan. We're going to buy Snake because she's pretty awesome. And we're going to sell some black powder. We don't have a lot of loot on hand because we've spent it all trading on the caravan path, but we do what we can. We have so much black powder, we need to clear some out anyways. It's kind of a liability because it will explode and cause a major problem. So the Chaos Beasts attack at that point. And we do have some grudge throwers, which should have a good chance of dealing with a reasonably large number of these guys. These guys never flee. They're going to fight to the last monster. So let's see how much damage we can do before they come in. I'm also hoping our Empire allies out there can do us some favors and take some of them out. So either way, the grudge throwers do a very solid job. Nothing like a grudge writ. The stones are they're decent, I'm not gonna lie, but the grudge writs are just fucking broken. But it's also fun to have some sense of solid security in RimWorld. And still, look, there's still a lot of them coming in, but many of them are injured. So we're going to do a double shot over at the other side. Some of them are just laying around dead already somehow. But the Empire people get into a battle with them. We decide to stay out of this one for the moment. Here go the shells. I hear them flying. Bam. Just pure devastation. I love it. Good old grudge throwers. Alright, so we're going to have to go help our Empire allies here. We don't want anybody getting killed. If they do go down, we will rescue them and bring them back. The animals out there are fleeing just due to all the shots and explosions from other animals, and we're going to finish off all these guys. We will butcher them. Their hides will provide a fair amount of loot. And these boom creatures keep going, boom. It's a little scary out there. You got fires raging, bodies burning, a wizard fighting a Tuskor. Feels like a bad idea. We have trolls that have entered our area at that point due to fear, actually. But we will thump them a few times and get them cleared out. That'll be more meat for the hold. Sustenance. Everybody knows dwarfs think troll meat is a delicacy, and they'll rather enjoy that. So there you go. Now, these trolls prove to be more trouble than they're worth, as far as that goes, which isn't terribly surprising. Usually if you leave them around wounded, they will recover on their own. They have very fast healing, clotting, and you have to make sure if you're going to deal with them, you actually deal with them. So it's time for some new tunnels and some new access paths down to the southern area here. We can put a door in to keep the animals where we want them. We have a lot of butchering to do and a lot of chaos meat laying about. We're gonna go. We need guns. We need flame guns for burning bodies. That's been one of the biggest issues we're having, is people seeing corpses and getting very crabby. You see a lot of crabbiness at the top up there. All that is due generally to having seen corpses or rotting corpses. Stone Shield gets attacked by a troll while dinking about, so Gotrik's going to come assist on that, as is Ethan, the new Beastman ally we have. And the troll steps on a few traps and thinks better about what he was doing until he gets shot, and he's really mad, but it doesn't take long. And Gotrik's got him dealt with once again. Current goal count is 3571. After the caravans return and everything gets put away, you can see our wealth is at 270 some odd thousand. Snake uses a crafting potion, as does Kaza. This improves their crafting skill and also gets rid of very valuable items that are laying around, so might as well use them. I'm not sure if it adds an equivalent amount of value to the pawn itself, but it doesn't much matter. We've given the Mournfang free reign. They do haul stuff, and they're very helpful. There were so many dead chaos beasts, we couldn't possibly drag them all in despite our best efforts. That's okay, though. The mead making is underway, so we are making and drinking a fair amount of mead. I make a Beastman research table. We do have a Beastman, and we may need some apparel or something special for that fella, so why not? I did have to get rid of an Empire one, but we generally only have one person researching at a time. The ale pile is growing. Mead pile is not growing very fast, but we'll get to it eventually. We do finally get the capacity to start making legitimate medicine as well. So with the fungal meds and the herbal meds, cloth and steel, we can put together some legit medicine. We also brought in sufficient granite to finish our embrasure area where we can hide and shoot. Doesn't do us much good for our melee folks, but we're doing a lot of mining, trying to bring in granite chunks that we can turn into granite blocks. I'm also going to add an extra tunnel through the main part of the hold just to open things up and keep people from walking around in directions we don't really want them walking in, because it takes longer. Lots of animal fat. We're going to go for flame guns next. We're going to make a few of those babies as soon as we can, and we're going to just start getting rid of all these carcasses. There's such a pile of them that something's got to give. So we make a goblin hewer. That's going to be an efficient way to start in some proper defense. We will rework this whole area eventually, and probably have some flame cannons, more embrasures. The embrasures take a pretty significant amount of stone to build, so we need more blocks. Well, we'll get there. The hay is rotting away. That's fine. We're overgrowing it. I shrunk that zone down quite a bit because we just have way too much of it. I don't know what the damn horses are eating, but they need to lay off the hay. I've left the animals open to where the grudge throwers are. I don't think it matters for the moment. If it ever causes a problem, we'll worry about it. We do end up getting our flame guns, and it's time to... We also need components. I noticed we were running short on those, and no one's actually making them, so we have to set a job to keep components on hand if we want to be able to construct these types of things. Flame gun is being made in the munitions room, and we're going to also open up the left-hand side of the main hold to the outside, which is going to require some walls. I'm going to try and make some walls, a couple layers of walls, and direct people around to the north where the security area is. So if they do get through the first wall, hopefully they're like, oh, we can go through here. The flame gun is finished, by the way. So Snake picks that up and goes to town on the burning of the carcasses. You can see this cool effect here. That is something that's built into vanilla expanded framework, and if you're making mods, you can leverage that relatively easily if you have some configuration ability. So finally, though, we're cleaning this nightmare up. It does, of course, given the fire, start raining, which is a little frustrating, but there it is. We'll just have to move them, and it's at that point we decide all these things that are laying around that aren't getting repaired but that are tainted is because they're at 100% hit points. So we need to do some damage to them in order that people will repair them, remove the taint, and then we can sell them for a good amount of money. That means doing damage, though, and that means starting a fire in the hold. So controlled burn on some apparel in the interest of repairing it up. And it failed on one of them, but all the rest of them were a success. So we'll do what we can. There's some ogres visiting at that point. They're cruising on through, doing their thing. It's nice to see stuff happening. We're going to expand the feasting hall. Right now it's not sufficient. We're also going to get as many musical instruments as we can and put them in there. And it's time to start burning apparel again because stuff needs to get repaired. I think Snake might be too close to start that bit on fire. He put it out. I don't know. We'll keep working at it till we get it. Just one of the little hacks you got to do to get them to actually repair something and thus remove the taint. A lot of insults going around. Jagged Rock is being a crab. Advanced Black Powder War Machines is next on the research list. We're almost done with the latest expansion. A Dwarven Smithy Caravan shows up, and immediately all the predators on the map go bananas on them. I don't know what's going on. I believe there's just not a lot of prey animals around. So they start going crazy, and there's massive battles between beasts and dwarfs nearby. It's too far away for us to get involved, but we will do some harvesting. It's at that point that one of our people, Cadorson, starts getting attacked by a massive razor gore. I don't know what caused this, again, other than the lack of prey animals. But Cadorson does not last, needless to say. And he starts getting eaten as well. And then his meal gets eaten straight away, too, by a horse and a boomalope. But we did pick up a Wand of Resurrection not too long ago. So Gotrik drags the poor dead bastard inside to see if he can revive him with the Wand of Resurrection. I did make a spot specifically for dead colonists. There it is. So Gotrik's going to do the deed. And our first death, I believe, is brought back to life. He will be down and out with resurrection sickness for a few days, but no big deal. So the Smithy Caravan, they have some healing potions, a raised ground potion. A little short on silver once again. We also buy a nice pickaxe because all the really nice dwarven weaponry and apparel do require gold to make. Gotrik learns raised ground as well, the spell. He's got one more spell he has capacity for. They can have 5 non-lore spells. And he does cast it over there to raise up the ground. And we don't need that bridge anymore except in that one little muddy spot. So there you go. Cadorson still down and out. He's got another day. Somebody brought Skaven Slave in. I'm not sure why. That was set to colonists only, but there you go. We do also make a Dwarven Horn. We need an Empire Loot, and then I believe we have the full suite of Rimhammer instruments, all of which provide the same type of recreation, but they also provide recreation for people nearby. So we're going to make another table. We're going to make some more chairs. And we've opened up... This must be the west side of the hold. I don't know why I keep calling it the left side. But anyways, we open that area up, and we're going to build some walls out there and do some planting out there. We need to move our crop production elsewhere. We also will put in a very sturdy granite door, so it'll be slow to use, but we shouldn't really be using it very frequently, so it should be just fine. And people like to just stare at the instruments as well. They admire them and drink beer, which is just fine with me. If I saw a nice instrument and I had a beer, you know. Regardless, we're going to also do some mining in order to try and get some more chunks going because we're a bit short on that at the moment. So between Gotrik, Stone Shield, we get most everything built. The chairs take forever to make. You could see Gotrik was moving so quick because he has that belt of ardor. We do find a little bit of an open area. So we're going to make a secondary wall that we can hide behind and shoot through. There's a mead being drank by Hayes over on the west side, and that'll give us some level of security. I should have pushed it out more. I could use a little more growing space. Alfradi is considering joining, but we do have to go rescue him. It's hard to commit to that without knowing his stats, and it's also pretty far away through the mountains. It doesn't look far, but it's 3.3 days. We do have the food to make that happen. But it's also at that time that a whole shitload of people show up ready to go on the attack. But anybody that stands around waiting, and even if they don't, if they're far enough away, I found that you can target the people in the front of the line and it'll hit the people in the middle of the line. But these people decide, we're tribes people, we're just going to wait around. And I don't know what. You should really be planning or doing something more intelligent than walking about. So we do make a mad animal in the form of a pissed off mega sloth that gets hit by the grudge thrower. And we're going to do the same thing on the side. It does sufficient damage that those people do decide eventually to flee. The mega sloths are pissed off and the boomalopes are exploding. They haven't yet fled, actually. They're going to come in, but I don't think they're getting through the traps without a good bit of running away. And fortunately, we were able to damage one group. So one group came in, and we can still focus grudge throwers on the other group, because there are pretty sizable groups of people coming in. And after another grudge thrower shot, they do decide to assault us. But again, targeting the front of the line, as long as you don't pick somebody injured, generally means the back of the line or the middle of the line gets hit, because they're all going to follow the same path, because that's RimWorld AI. Now, we're ready for the fools that are about to make entrance to the hold, but the traps do their job. Those morons leave. I need a door on this side, because it'd be nice to be able to flee out on this side and get a hold of them quickly. We're going to have so many bodies to burn. We're going to have so much meat. It just is going to get out of hand. I'll give you a little prelude to where things end up going here. Meat supplies way too much. So the stones do continue to hit people, but we are also just going to focus on taking out the injured people. Nobody gets away if we can help it. If you've come and you've tried to take us out, that's a grudge, and that must be settled. So at this point, we pull back the people manning the grudge throwers and bring them out as well. There are some people that aren't quite dead, and Caxa here is a really awesome candidate. He's got some really good qualities and some good stats. So, so our foes shoot a troll, which gets pissed off and decides to come for us. They've also pissed off another one in the meantime. Oh, I believe it happened at the same time they hit this one. So we do have our war machine. We have to stay clear of that because it will damage us as well. But that troll doesn't last very long before it's down. Stone Shield has a crossbow. Ends up in the wrong batch of people here, but it's not a big deal. We got our shooters behind our embracers. And there's the Goblin Hewer flinging axes like crazy. He's got a pretty cool custom sound. I put together about 3 or 4 sounds from freesound.org to make that. And, it's generally where you go for nice free sounds that you don't have to make yourself or pay for. So there you go. People are generously putting their time out there so that my mods can be better. Thank you, freesound.org. Regardless, the battle continues. And mostly it's melee. We got to sort this out a little better so you can get everybody doing something at the same time. I'm going to give chase again. They're going to try and destroy some of our doors. We're going to do what we can not to allow that. It's more resources and material that we're shelling out in order to, I don't know, clean up the mess that these dicks made. It's at that point that a dwarven goods trader shows up as well. Jagged Rock's trying to get a hold of Trora. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's got to be a line somewhere. But I feel like if they're right on the edge, and my guy's right on the edge, it's just weird that they disappear and I have no more access to them. But regardless, we do what we can to clean up this mess, avenge a grudge. And the hammers do a great job of stunning, so there is that. Trolls wander in. We have people standing around dealing with trolls. Caxa, we bring him in straight away with Gotrik and see if we can get him healed up. It's my main priority. Seems like an awesome pawn. And we do send Kaza out to do some trading. They don't really have much, but we do sell some apparel that we don't need. We did strip anybody that was not dead. We also do buy another belt of ardor and some more of the fancy jumping boots because they're fun. And the animal situation is out of hand as the boomalopes continue to explode that were injured as a part of that battle. It's not really an issue for us given how far away it is, but nonetheless, you can see fires are raging about, and the place is looking nice. We made some progress. I think we spent most of our time having fights this go around, but we did increase the gold count, I think, because the caravans came home. So 3561 is where we ended up on that. And we have all manner of work to do, but at least the place is clean. Ethan's doing a damn good job. I love you guys. Leave me a like, comment, all that jazz. I will see you next time.